Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my favorites of 2024, my 5-star reads, okay? And we are just gonna hop right into it. All right, so the first book I'm gonna mention, and I'm not going in any particular order, but I will start with my more like mystery, thriller, that kind of genre there. And then the other genre is romance. That's all I got. Anyways, but the first book I'm going to mention is this book. Now, a few of these books I have mentioned in the past, but if they're 5-star, I gotta mention it again. This is Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies. I don't know, I just loved this book. I loved how we had mystery, we had a little bit of comedy, and I also did like to, let me see if I can find a page that has it. Here we go. Down at the bottom here, how we have the little author notes. I thought that was unique and pretty cool. At first I thought, I don't know if I'm gonna get irritated by this, but I actually did enjoy it. But it was just, it was just so cute. So pretty much this book is about Eleanor. Eleanor is a best-selling author of the Vacation Mystery series. And so her team puts together this trip to Rome because her first book took place in Rome. And so they put together this trip and they invite fans to go with her to kind of go to different places that was in the book and things like that to explore Rome. So while she's there with a few other people. One of those people is her ex, which the story is kind of based off of her and her ex. But he tells her, I think someone's trying to kill me. All these weird things are happening and someone is out to get me. And she's like, come on, Connor, nobody's out to get you. But things start to happen where she's like, okay, maybe somebody is out to get you. So anyways, it's just kind of like that mystery, figuring out what's going on. Is he crazy? I don't think so. So who's coming out to get him? This, that, and the other. So I don't know. It was really cute. I love the setup. I love the scenery. It was in Italy, and she's actually coming out with her second book in the series in June or April or something like that. So I'm super excited to read that. So yes, a very good, cozy mystery book, and it'll be great to read in the summertime because it's definitely take on vacation type book. And it's a pretty fast read, as in, like, I was so into it, I read it pretty fast. So, yeah. The next book I'm going to mention is The Trap by Catherine Ryan Howard. Now, this book was really good. This was more of like a psychological thriller. So it's about, Lucy. It's about Lucy and her sister went missing a year ago. But there's been other disappearances around the area that she lives in. And, the police is thinking that it's all connected. So you get different perspectives in here. You get Lucy's, you get the kidnappers, and then you get a perspective of an unknown woman. And it's just pretty much Lucy is trying to figure out who took her sister and how her life has changed. And, a lot of people are different suspects. But this was, and I think you also get the perspective of a detective, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, this book was just so good. It kind of kept me guessing. And at the end, I was like, the ending was frustrating, but not in the sense of like the writing, but in the sense of the characters. You're like, you know what I mean? But in a good way, But this is a great book to read, but 5-star for me. I enjoyed it so much. All right, and the next book is actually, I think, the last book I just finished, which is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a series. I just got the second book, and I will be reading it pretty soon. But this is about Cassie, and Cassie has this special talent. She can really tell a lot about people by just looking at them, or, but she's kind of like a profiler. Right? And one day this guy shows up in a cafe and leaves her a note saying, call this number, right? And she's like, what is going on? Now, his mother disappeared. So she was found, well, her body was never found, but they assumed that she was murdered because there was blood all over her dressing room, and Cassie was the one who found her. So Cassie has always kind of wondered what happened to her mother, right? So anyways, the card is for the FBI, and she's like, okay, maybe this has something to do with my mother, but instead it has to do with her. So Cassie goes and meets this FBI agent, and he's like, we've selected you because you are a natural. And so she's a natural profiler, like I said, so she can, you know, tell what people are going to do, kind of how they're going to act. So she's going to join this little program of other people that are, of other like teenagers that are special. And you have, I think, 4 other characters in there, 2 love interests, so we get a little bit of a love triangle in there in the mix. But I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great book, and I'm excited to read the second one. And I'm taking it in the perspective of it being more young adult. So those things that if it was an adult book, or like in a, I don't know how to explain it, but like, yeah. So I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna move on to the next book, but go read it. I don't know how the other books are, but this one was good. Okay, next we're moving into the romance genre, okay? So we're going ahead and we're getting into romance, and the first book I want to show you guys is this book right here, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Now, my thing with Emily Henry is that, okay, first of all, she is so popular. She's a very big author, as y'all may know. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, like just huge, right? And her really big books are People We Meet on Vacation and Beach Read. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Beach Read. Yep. Anyways, those are her really big books. Okay. I read them both, and I did not care for them. I did not care for them at all. And so I was very skeptical with Emily Henry, but sometimes I kind of push forward, you know, a little too fast, and I buy too many books. So when I got People We Meet on Vacation as one of those book of the month books, and then I bought Book Lovers and the other one together, and I read that one first, and did not too much care for it. I don't know, it was something, I didn't too much care about the characters. I didn't care if they got together at the end. I wasn't excited for them. I wasn't upset for them, but I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I do like the scenery. So then I went into Book Lovers open-minded, but I'm like, I'm not gonna get much from it. But I really enjoyed it, and it started off as like a 4-star for me, but then it was a book I thought about a little bit afterwards. And so if I started at a 4-star, but I keep thinking about it, I do up it to a 5-star. So that happened with a few of those other books that I showed you guys, and a few of the books that I will show you guys. But anyways, Book Lovers is about Nora and Charlie. I want to say his name is Nora and Charlie, and it's been a while since I read it. So like, Nora is an author, or she works in publishing, and so does Charlie, and they don't get off to the best start when they first meet. But Nora and her sister take a trip to one of the places that was in one of the books that Nora had edited or whatever. So they take a trip there because her sister's like, oh, it'll be so cute. It seems so cute in the books. And they take this trip, and it's not all that it's cracked up to be. It's a little bit more run down than they would have liked, but you know, they're going to make the best of it. But guess what? Mr. Charlie is from that little town. So she bumps into him, and they start to create a relationship. Obviously, you know, things happen. I think he works at like a bookshop or something like that. But anyways, they start to spend more time together, and their relationship just grows from there. But I thought it was really cute. I liked both of the characters. Usually, I'm going to be honest, a lot of the main female characters just bother me in like books and movies and stuff, because a lot of the times they're made to be so like pick me, or like a damsel in distress, or just kind of on the opposite spectrum where it's like, oh, I can do everything by myself, I don't need help, and they get so upset when they get help, and I don't know. But I liked her. We liked Nora. And Charlie was cute too. So them together was really cute. The setup was cute. The book was cute. The writing was good. So, and it, like I said, it was a book I thought about later. And I know this one is not everybody's favorite from her, but this is my favorite from her. I do have Happy Place, and I read that, and that was okay. I didn't mind that one, but it wasn't like, oh, that was so amazing. And I do have Funny Story. I have not read that yet. A lot of people said they really like it, so I'm gonna read it probably this month. I'm gonna try to read it in January. But yeah, anyways, 5-star read for me. Next, we're moving on, and this is The Sweetest Remedy. This was just so cute. I don't know, it was really cute and wholesome, and it reminded me of a straight up rom-com. And it was just adorable. I love the setup in Nigeria, and it also had a little bit of a more serious aspect to it, but I just loved it. So this book was about Hannah, and what was his name? Lawrence. His name was Lawrence. So this is about Hannah and Lawrence, and they meet at this little party. They just kind of have like a short interaction. But Hannah gets a phone call or text message, I can't remember which one, but she gets communicated to that her father had passed away. But she never really met her father. He wasn't in her life, and she's mixed. So her mother is white and her father is Nigerian. And so she only knows her mother in like America and that part of her life. She doesn't know anything about her dad or his side of the family or anything like that. So her mom tells her that in her father's will, he wanted Hannah to go back. Oh, sorry, not back, because she's never been. He wanted Hannah to go to Nigeria for the funeral and kind of like meet the family and read the will and things like that. So Hannah's kind of deciding on if she should go or not, but ultimately she's like, okay, I'm gonna go. Now we go ahead and we're in Nigeria, and we see that Lawrence is kind of a part of this family that Hannah is walking into. He's not a blood sibling, but he's kind of like a sibling to these people because Hannah's dad had taken him in after his mom had passed away. So he's like family to these people, right? So Hannah walks in there and everybody's just kind of shook. They're kind of shocked. And they're kind of nasty to her. I want to say she has like an ally or two from the beginning. There's like one of the brothers just is like whatever. But you know, he's kind of masking what he's really feeling. But she doesn't have the best start when she's there. And so it's them building that relationship and that trust because they're both going through something, right? And Hannah's just kind of thrown in that situation just as much as they are, you know what I mean? So it's that going on, and then obviously the romance between Hannah and Lawrence, and they were just so cute. Oh, I loved it. Lawrence is just adorable, but I love the book. It was super sweet. Like I said, I give that cute like rom-com, but it also had a little bit more of a serious aspect in there, and just like navigating through grief, and then, you know, having a whole new family, right? But yeah, it was super cute. I loved it. It was adorable, and 5-star for me. Next, we have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Now, this is my first Abby Jimenez book, and it definitely did me right. Okay, so this is about Alexis and Daniel. So Alexis is this doctor, and I want to say she gets stuck somewhere on the side of the road near this little town, and Daniel happens to be passing, so he kind of helps her out. And you know, they have their cute little meet cute, and then he leaves and she starts driving, and she drives into this town and stops at the bar, and then guess who she bumps into? So they spend a little night together, but she ends up running out in the morning and leaves. There's also serious aspects in here too. So we're talking about abuse, a little bit more on the emotional side with Alexis and her current boyfriend, and also the pressures that her parents put on her, especially her dad as a doctor, and things like that. And then you also do have that aspect of an age gap. So she's older than him, and she's kind of navigating that as well. But it was just overall such a cute book, and I loved being in this world. I love being part of this world. But no, seriously, I really did enjoy this book, and I was immersed in there, and I felt like I was in that little town. It was just, I don't know, it was adorable. I loved it, and now I see why people are Abby Jimenez stans. Now, I was scared to start Abby Jimenez because with Emily Henry, I was a little bit disappointed, but your girl Abby came through, okay? Let's just say that. This next book right here is The Neighbor Favor. Now this is like a little series, so there's 2 other books in the series with the 2 other Green sisters, but this is Lily. She's, I think, the youngest. This book was such a sweet, cute book. I don't know how to explain it. I just loved it. It filled my heart with all the little giggles. I was giggling, I was smiling, I was like, ee, that's so cute. But this is about Lily and Nick. So Lily, right, loves this child's book written by an author that hasn't written anything else, and he's not on social media, he's not huge. He just kind of wrote this one book and was done, right? His company, from what I can remember, I think the company kind of fell through, the one that he signed with. Anyways, so she's on this train in New York, and the train stops, or it's going slow, I can't remember, I think it stops, and it's so hot on there, and so she's like, okay, let me distract myself. And she was looking up the author and the book, and she found out that he had a website, and she's like, what? I haven't seen a website for him, and an email address. So she was like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and write him, whatever, let's just do it. So she writes him, and he gets it. Nick gets it, but he goes by the name, a pen name. He goes by N.R. Strickland. So anyways, he gets this email, and he's like, what? I have this email. I've never gotten an email before. That's interesting. So he writes back. So they're starting this relationship through email back and forth, him and Lily, but Lily is thinking it's N.R. Strickland, right? Or Strickland. She doesn't know it's a guy named Nick, right? Years pass. They were messaging back and forth through email, but all of a sudden he just kind of went ghost. He said he might move to New York and might write his book or whatever he's gonna do, but then just kind of ghosts her. So fast forward, after some time, she meets this guy Nick that lives in her building, but she doesn't know that that's Nick that she was emailing back and forth with, because she doesn't know his real name. She just knows him by his pen name. He finds out that that is the Lily that he's been messaging back and forth, but he doesn't tell her right away. So this book was just so cute, and it was all the feels. It was just adorable, all the feels. I love this book so much, and I think this is such a cute, cozy read to read whenever, and I kind of flew through it because it was just so cute and adorable. Last book. Now this book, I don't know how to explain why I feel like this is a 5-star. I honestly couldn't tell you why. I just really enjoyed it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain the feeling I feel about this book, because it's such a good book. But I was deciding on if I should give it like a 4.5 star or a 5-star. So I'm honestly in between. My idea kind of bounces back and forth. I know it's crazy, but I'm like, 4.5 or 5. But I am going to add it in this video regardless, because it's close enough. So this is The Stand-In by Lily Chu. And this book was pretty thick. It was pretty long, but I didn't feel like it was that long because it was so good. And usually some books like this, I feel like could be cut. It doesn't need to be this long. But the way the book was done, I feel like it wasn't even that long to me. But anyways, this is about Gracie. And okay, if you've ever watched The Princess Switch with Vanessa Hudgens, that's pretty close to what this book is. So it's about Gracie, and she's this normal girl. She's working this job. She has a creep for her boss, and you know, she's just kind of living her life. But she looks just like this Chinese actress, Wei. Okay. And so one day, she's, I want to say, like at a coffee shop, and paparazzi take pictures of her. The paparazzi takes pictures of her, and you know, they think that she's this Chinese actress that came to the coffee shop, right? But it was Gracie. So Wei gets wind of this, and she's like, you know what, I'm kind of tired. I love acting. I love doing what I do, but I just really don't want to be in the public eye, if that makes sense. So she gets a hold of Gracie, and she's like, hey, can you be me for these public appearances? Like, you don't really need to act. I got that, but I would like you to be in the public eye and do these public appearances. Now, she has this best friend slash like bodyguard, Sam, and he's very skeptical. He's very protective over Wei. That's his best friend, and he's not the nicest to Gracie at first, but they start to create a relationship, which is really nice. And, you know, it may or may not turn into something more. But I thought this was super cute. It also added the aspect of Gracie just kind of helping her mom out, because her mother lives in a nursing facility, or like a nursing home, but she wants to get her in a better nursing home. She just didn't have the money, which is why, sorry, I forgot to mention that, which is why she takes this job to pretend to be Wei, so that she can get that money. But it was just such a cute book. I love the aspect of it, and like I said, there were so many components in here that kept me engaged that it didn't feel like the book was too long. A lot of books like this, or kind of like romance books and things like that, when they get to 300 and some odd pages, because I think this is like what, 360? Yeah, it's about 360. And when they get that long, sometimes I feel like you can kind of take some of that stuff out, you know what I mean? Or things like this, you can kind of take some of this stuff out and it could be shorter. We don't need that. But this one, I thought they did a great job. Or, sorry, she did a great job, because Lily Chu wrote it. Did a great job with it. And it was super cute. It was engaging. You had those more serious topics of like what was going on with the mother, and then what was going on at her job, like the boss being her creep. But this was just so cute and whimsical, and I felt like I was watching a version of The Princess Switch. That's kind of how I felt reading this. So, and I do like The Princess Switch. I know it's a little cheesy, but they're still cute movies. Anyways, I thought this was a great book, and I do recommend you read it. So those are my 5-star reads of 2024. Let me know if you guys have read any of those books. If you haven't, if they're on your list, let me know if you really didn't like the books, if you read it. I would love to know. But these, I kind of just go off of if I think about the book often. If I thought it was a good book and then I think about it often, it's usually kind of a 5-star for me. And ratings change all the time for me. So there are some books where I thought were 5 stars where I'm like, meh. And there are some books where they were 4, 4.5, and I was like, okay, I'll bump it up to a 5. So, yeah, things just keep changing. But as of right now, that is what I got going on. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a great day. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.